Welcome everybody. It's good to see a lot of my students here. Uh, Thank you for coming. Hopefully you'll have a good opportunity. Today we're very fortunate to have Don Ramiro and his son Dios come from Mexico to share about their culture, about their traditions, and about some of their situations back home and what they're going through with us. We're very, very thankful for that, and I'm excited that we'll get to hear from them. Today, we're also very fortunate to have Ting, who is a representative of the First Nation of this land, who's gonna help us do a land acknowledgement to acknowledge the land we're in and to acknowledge the people of this land, and also to help us welcome our relatives from the South who come here to share their culture with us. So I'm gonna pass down to Tim. Thank you, Tim, for helping us. Oh, you can use that one, yeah. Just make sure it's on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wet sweat. The Chawa Hipals Wixarika, Tim Michel of Squestna Semachin, Suquepmaka, to Stelnach Slakwa, to Kemloops, the Mutwa, Est. I'm living in Vancouver right now. My name is Hipals Wixarika, and in English I was given the name Tim Michel, or I sometimes refer to it as my colonial name. I'm Shuswap, or Secwepmuc. I was born in Kamloops. I'm from Stalin, which is about 40 miles to the east and north of Kamloops, in the Shuswap Lakes area of BC. I just want to mention that the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences has a huge commitment to reconciliation. And in their commitment to reconciliation, they recognize that reconciliation is a settler responsibility that must involve respect of Indigenous ways of knowing and being, and be active in dismantling systemic structures of racism. Further, there is an understanding that we must actively work towards building authentic relationships founded in truth, to acknowledge Indigenous peoples' rights to self-determination, to acknowledge the colonial harms and trauma that they suffered, and to acknowledge the colonial displacement and erasure of Indigenous peoples in this country of Canada. It requires a reflection on our individual and collective responsibilities to move towards reconciliation in a good way. As part of our process in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, we acknowledge the territories upon which we stand today. And like most people in this crowd, I'm not from here. I wasn't invited here. I migrated here to the Spolchokumok Uluk, the Coast Salish lands of the Humasquim, Skokomish, Ukumi, Tsleil-Waututh, and Kwikwetlam nations. So while I was not invited here, I nevertheless enjoy playing and living and working in this area. And I just want to acknowledge the people whose land we are on. And in particular the Skokomish people, because I want to tell a story about them. In June 13th, 1886, after about 90 years of settlement in the Vancouver area, the population of the Coast Salish peoples, which goes from the Delta area here up through the Fraser Valley, was diminished from about 400,000 down to probably less than 5,000 at one point. Only a few villages remained, and these lands and most of their best lands were claimed by settlers. Now, I know they were not happy about the treatment that they received by people that came in as settlers. But the beautiful people of the Squamish Nation in particular knew how to respect human beings that were in their area. And this is part of an excerpt of a story that was online. Agnes Lackett-Joe watched the flames lick the sky from across the ways on the North Shore. This was the June 13th, 1886 fire. Then the Squamish woman hopped in a long dugout canoe and hurriedly paddled across the inlet to rescue those who had jumped in the harbor. Fellow Squamish followed behind her. As they rowed towards the shore, they sang songs. And when their canoes were full, they brought the survivors back to their village, Eslahan, and then returned for more. And so they were responsible for saving a large number of settlers that had settled in the Vancouver area. And I just want to raise my hands to them. And if any of you are their descendants from those that were rescued by them, I think you can join me in raising your hands to them. But one of the things that they did is they showed how we as human beings should respect each other. And although they had some real misgivings about people that were settling on their lands, they nevertheless treated each individual as important. And I just want to say, let's just take a moment to think about those Coast Salish peoples, and especially the Skokomish Ukomich, and just think about the fact that we're sitting on their lands, and we really should think about what kind of responsibilities we have to them. Yui is Jux.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you saying that. All right, so now that we have properly acknowledged the land and the people of this land, I want to introduce you to Don Ramiro and his son Dios, and please help me welcome them and listen attentively. We're very lucky to have them. They are still living the traditional ways in Mexico, and they come all the way here to share about their way of life with us. So we're very privileged to have them. So we invite them to come and share about that with us. Thank you.
Kia ako nei wamarire tere ne se ta inre ikumatin mana sente pe ar ne titewa ririakame me hia dia ne koi watana ena o en Vancouver Canada neptine ukita echoa newa itiena turi arto area ka te ukita mete te ukita wa mete pauna arto area ka nevrawa uritua verika wa netimia kako echoa nepti sere echoa naturi mete bebe artesanía rete chulo pare vimuku reina ne rolo airo por estar ni pan para en el lago.
Buenas tardes. Aquí mi papá le da como la bienvenida.
He's saying his father just welcomed you.
Él está agradecido por invitarnos y aquí también con Martín le agradece mucho.
He's thankful that we invited them, and he's thanking me for inviting them.
Dice que estén bien los estudiantes, igual que los maestros, los profes. Pues, muchas gracias por la invitación y estamos contentos.
He's saying that he wants all the students to be good and happy, as well as the professors and the teachers, and that they are very happy to be here.
Se presentó en su lengua, en nuestra lengua, que se llama Wixarika, y su nombre es Wirikuta. En español se llama Ramiro Mejía Díaz.
He introduced himself in his own language, which is Wixarika, and his name, which is Ramiro Mejía Díaz.
Mi nombre es en español Luis Antonio Mejía de la Cruz. En mi idioma Wixarika me llamo Rafa, que significa un lugar sagrado, por eso me dicen Dios.
He's introducing himself. His name is Rapa, which is a sacred place, and that's why, because his name after a sacred place, they call him Dios, which means God in Spanish.
Y les voy a platicar un poquito pues, de los nombres y pues, de nuestras costumbres allá en la sierra, qué es lo que hacemos, qué hacen los maracames, mi papá y otros maracames que ellos allá en la sierra.
So I want to share with you guys a little bit about our culture in the mountains and what we do and what maracames like my father and others do over there.
Primeramente, nuestros abuelos nos ponen el nombre Wixarika. Los nombres nos lo ponen a través de los sueños de nuestros abuelos. Ellos lo sueñan y ya antes de una semana recién nacido nos ponen el nombre.
Our names are given to us by our grandparents through their dreams. They dream, and 1 week, more or less after we are born, through their dreams, they give us a name.
Y entonces ellos lo sueñan lo que le digan los espíritus, y ya en la mañana, así, todos así paraditos, ellos bajan agua bendita, le piden a los espíritus, y con esa agua bendita nos bañan en la mañana.
They have a dream about a name, and then the name comes through the spirits, and then they ask the spirits for a blessing for the water, and then they use that water in the morning time to bless the newborn babies.
Y ya igual pues si la abuela también sueña, también la abuela le pone su nombre, igual que el abuelo. Y lo que sueña, por ejemplo, es si sueña les voy a poner un ejemplo, si sueña como maíz, y pues le ponen como el nombre de maíz, pues.
If the grandmother has a dream, then she can also give a name to the baby, and as an example, maybe she can have a dream about something related to corn, and then the child will receive a name about the corn.
Y aquí los maracames, mi papá, incluyendo mi papá, todos los de mi pueblo, los maracames ellos limpian, usan plumas como águila real, el águila con la roja que me llaman, usan plumas, no, ahorita no traigo, pero ahorita les vamos a enseñar. Con eso limpian a las personas
My father and other Marakames, what they do is they clean people. They use some feathers, like right now I have one that will show you in a bit. They use like a golden eagle or red-tailed hawk or different kind of feathers, and they clean people.
Y con eso pues las curan y pues ya se sienten, se sienten mejor como estaban antes. Y, y también pues llevamos muchos como costumbres, llevamos, ¿cómo se puede decir? Fiestas, pero no son fiestas como de... ¿cómo se puede decir? Como fiesta de diversión, es no como solamente como costumbre la costumbre de nosotros que llevamos.
That he's saying after the Marakame cleans a person with the feather, they bring that person healing, so they're healers. And they have a lot of traditions and they do celebrations, but he's saying these celebrations are not really like a party, but they're more like a traditional cultural event and a ceremony.
Hay muchas fiestas tradicionales, tienen su nombre. Tenemos como la danza del peyote, la danza del venado, la fiesta del toro, la fiesta del tambor, que son para los niños, y la peregrinación que vamos a recorrer de 14 San Luis Potosí.
Many of this celebration has named like the celebration of peyote, the celebration of the deer, the celebration of the bull, the celebration of the drum, and then they have a pilgrimage that they do where they go to Real de 14 in Potosí. There are some of the examples.
Primeramente, ahorita, de hecho cuando nos venimos de la sierra, ahorita estaba la fiesta del tambor, que son para los niños. Y esa fiesta está llevado a través del Marakame. Él canta todo el día, desde en la mañana, las 7 de la mañana, hasta las 7 de la tarde o 8, depende.
So right now, before they came here, they were having the celebration of the drum, which is for the children. And in that celebration, the Marakame sings all day, 7 a.m., whenever the sun comes up, he sings all day till the sun goes down.
Y se juntan como más de 30 niños. Los niños usan una sonaja, que son como una bolita como esta, pero más grande, lo llaman kaitza en Wixarika. Y ellos pues empiezan a sonajear todo el día cuando el Marakame está cantando. Pues es lo que le decías, son las plumas. El Marakame en el día pues va cantando con esa pluma, rezando, los lleva en la pelea de 14, pero a través de su canto.
In this celebration for the children use a rattle. When the Marakame sings, they use the rattle, and the Marakame, through his songs, is taking the children to Real de 14, to the sacred land, with his song.
Y por eso se tarda casi todo el día, y ya el Marakame pues, los lleva, igual otra vez los trae de vuelta. Y cuando llegan de vuelta pues ya se acaba la fiesta. Y son como nomás para los niños, para que se sientan bien, para que no se enfermen, para que pues tengan mucha vida.
And then after he takes them there through song, then he has to bring them back. And that celebration for the children is so they can be healthy and have a good life and don't get sick.
Y la, y la fiesta del toro, pues es más como cuando alguien tiene una manda o como un sueño que cumplir y ellos sacrifican ya sea el toro, una vaca, un borrego, el venado, los matan, pero también lo va cantando para que lo puedan sacrificar.
The celebration of the bull is when somebody has something they need to do or they had a dream, and then they will sacrifice either a bull or a deer or some animal, but the Marakame will also be singing so that animal can be killed in a ceremonial way.
Y pues ahorita mi papá recientemente pues le dieron cargo ahí en nuestra comunidad que se llama Wirikuta en Burnaby, en español.
My father has recently received a responsibility, a position in our community, which is translated as a black eagle position, yes.
Normalmente pues ahí hacemos la fiesta ahí en la comunidad. Es como tipo, como capilla o iglesia, pero es como un círculo nomás y su techo pues es de puro zacate. Ahí normalmente pues ahí donde rezamos, con el fuego, con el venado, con el águila, el peyote, ahí donde rezamos en ese, le llamamos caligüe.
Normally, when we have the ceremonies, it is a space called Taliway, which is like a church for us, but it's like just like a circle made with a roof made out of grass. And it's a very simple structure, and we have the fire, and we have the deer, and the eagle, and the peyote.
Les voy a contar un poco también de los animales que son sagrados para nosotros, que como los que nos guían al camino correcto.
I want to share with you a little bit about the animals that are sacred to us, that guide us into a good path for our lives.
Primeramente, pues existe el venado. El venado, le llamamos venado azul, el grande de cabello malo. Ese para nosotros el venado es muy importante, que es como para el mero, se puede decir como el mero jefe, que él nos guía, más bien guía al Marakame. El venado azul es el que como el que le dice qué hacer el Marakame, y el Marakame que se puede como segundeándolo.
Very important for us is the deer, that we call it blue deer, which is the one that is the chief, and it's guide us, more precisely guides the Marakame, and the Marakame is kind of following what the blue deer is saying.
Y a ese venado nosotros no matamos nomás así como se puede decir como a lo loco o a lo... Y nosotros le rezamos, nosotros lo buscamos cuando realmente lo ocupamos, como en las ceremonias, y ya lo sacrificamos, nos juntamos más de 20, lo buscamos. Y hay a veces que se deja y hay veces que no se deja.
We don't just when we need the deer, we don't just kill it like crazy, but we only look for it when we need it for a ceremony, and then we pray to it. And sometimes it will allow us to get him, sometimes it will not.
Entonces, nosotros primero tenemos que rezarle en la noche canta el maracame, como, simplemente como lo va a amarrar para que el venado se deje llegar con nosotros, se deje matar.
So first they will have a pray to the deer at night, and the Marakame is imagine that he's gonna tie up the deer, so it's gonna allow us to capture him and find him the next day.
Y ya cuando acaba el maracame toda la noche de cantar, ya en la mañana nosotros hacemos flechas, que le llamamos, en la mañana, y ya acabando esas flechas, pues vamos a buscar el venado. Si uno de nosotros no hace bien la cosa o las cosas, el venado normalmente pues no se deja matar. Sí lo podemos ver, pero como que así se empieza a jugar, así como va para acá y para acá, como que nos conecta y ya no más puede con nosotros.
It's in the morning time, then we make some arrows, that we call it, and then sometimes if one of us has not been living a good life or doing things properly, then the deer will come like not allow us to capture him, and it's like it's almost like it's playing with us. They will come, go to one side and then to the other, and we can see him, but we cannot capture him, we cannot kill him.
Entonces, pues tenemos que hacer como bien las cosas para que pues no nos pase eso. Y igual pues eso lo hacemos rezando como para todas las familias, para la comunidad, porque ahí de donde nosotros venimos nomás como hay como tres caligüeyes que son como más grandes, se puede decir. Y esos tres pues hacemos como lo mismo, pues vamos de cacería y todo.
And when we do all of these ceremonies, we do it praying for all of our communities and all the families, and there's approximately about 3 of these caliways that I was explaining earlier, these churches, and we all do the same thing for our communities.
Pues ese es todo como del venado, que es para nosotros el venado sagrado. Y el águila también pues también es sagrado para nosotros, pero casi a esos aves, pues el águila no lo cazamos diario. Hay veces que nomás si tú lo encuentras, si se deja, pues así como lo matas, si no, pues no.
That's what I have to share about the deer and what it represents to us. Then another animal that is sacred to us is the eagle. The eagle, we don't hunt it as much. It's more like if it shows itself and it comes to you and you have that inclination, then you might kill it, but otherwise we don't hunt it.
Porque el águila es como bueno, el águila le va rezando como hacia arriba, ¿no? Y el venado está en la tierra. Entonces con el maracame pues el venado se comunica como en la tierra, y el águila pues como va viendo todo como el mundo, se puede decir, como toda la tierra. Entonces se conectan ahí los dos, el águila y el venado.
The reason being that the eagle goes up, so the deer is kind of connected with the earth, and then the eagle is connected with the deer and is seeing everything from above. And it's going all around, seeing everything from above, and they have that connection.
Y una cosa que me pasó, ese del venado, cuando lo matamos, nosotros ocupamos la carne, bueno, todo, pero lo más importante es el rostro, como la cara, nomás la cara, los cuernos y la cola, que es como importantes para el pueblo, para la comunidad.
And then the deer, when we kill it, we use everything, the meat, everything, but what is more important for us is the face with the horns and everything, and also the tail. Those are the most important ones for our community.
Entonces eso nosotros usamos y la carne pues sí también lo ocupamos, eso se lo entregamos a los 4 puntos cardinales que son los lugares sagrados. Llevamos la carne, la sangre y un poquito de eso como corazón.
And then the meat and the blood and a little bit of the heart we take to the 4 sacred points, which are 4 sacred places that represent the 4 directions in Mexico.
Y los lugares sagrados que nosotros tenemos son 4, lo llamamos 4 puntos cardinales, que se llama uno Aramara, que es Chapala, queda por Nayarit. Que es también Ahorra Manacá, que queda como por Cerro Gordo, y luego está el Cerro Quemado, y en el centro, que es como, en el centro es Tecata.
There are 5 places in Mexico which are their kind of sacred spaces, which names he just said, which I'm not going to say again. But those are the 5 different places where they bring the offerings. One represents each direction and one in the center.
Entonces nosotros, acabando las ceremonias, vamos a esos lugares a dejar ofrenda, como vela, tamales, no sé, como pocos de chiquitos que hacemos, la sangre del venado. Llevamos todo como también los juguetes de los niños, para el bien de nuestras familias, de la comunidad. En esos 4 pueblos cardinales y en el centro pues vamos llevando ofrendas.
And they bring offerings to those 5 places. They bring candles, tamales, different food, toys from children, and different things. They bring those as offerings for the 4 cardinal points in the center, for the benefit of the community and the families and good health.
Y esos lugares sagrados pues están lejos, no están cerquitas ahí, no son como una hora, no, son como un día caminando y 3 días, como 3 días tienes que llegar. Hay unos, nomás tienes que caminar como a pata o caminando, y hay unos que sí puedes llegar en carro.
And these places are not like nearby, it's not like an hour, but sometimes you have to walk for an entire day, sometimes 3 days. Sometimes some of them you can reach by car, but some of them you just gotta walk there and it's a really long walk.
Y sí, la verdad sí, está muy como, algunos pues se nos complica mucho ir a esos lugares sagrados porque pues se necesita como carro para gasolinas y pues dinero para ir como más fácil ir en carro, pedir ride, porque sí, la verdad, caminando está muy lejos.
For that reason, sometimes they rather we go by car because walking is really far away and they need money to buy gas or to get a ride from someone. It's a big expense for the communities.
Pues le voy a pasar aquí nos acompaña un acompañante que nosotros invitamos, como nosotros no sabemos hablar en inglés, mi papá pues invita bueno, a su compadre y él nos acompaña a como traducir a veces y ahorita le voy a pasar el micrófono para que pues también diga unas palabras de lo que aprendió, de lo que sabe.
My father invites his compadre, his friend, that he accompanies us here, and he travels with us and helps us translate because we don't speak English. And I'm going to pass the microphone to him so he can share with you guys a little bit of what he's learned and what he has seen and what he wants to share with you guys.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Mi nombre es Christopher Cecilia y llevo aproximadamente 10 años acompañando al Marakame. Tuve la oportunidad de conocerlo y también él me ha invitado a su comunidad a conocer sus tradiciones, me ha compartido mucho y conozco dónde vive él y he conocido algunas de las ceremonias tradicionales que hacen en su comunidad, entonces les voy a contar un poco de mi punto de vista, lo que he vivido cerca de ellos. Sí, por favor.
He's saying, I've been traveling with Marakame Ramiro for about 10 years. Been to the community, been to some of their celebrations. And so I'm going to share with you guys from my perspective what I have learned and experienced with them.
Yo vengo del estado de Baja California Sur, de un lugar que se llama Todos Santos.
I come from Baja California Sur, the state, in a place called Todos Santos.
Pues les quiero contar un poquito sobre lo que es un Marakame. La gente les dice luchones, pero es un nombre mal dicho. Como no podían pronunciarlo los que llegaron ahí así de Europa, les pusieron luchones, pero el verdadero nombre es Wixarika.
I want to share with you what is a Marakame. People in Mexico call them huicholes, but that's the people who arrived from Europe couldn't pronounce Wirikuta, so that's what they call them, that huicholes, but that's not their proper name.
No todos los Wixarikas son Marakames. Los ancianos, cuando son niños, ellos ven en algunos quién va a ser Marakame, quién va a ser curandero.
Not all Wixarikas are Marakames. When they're children, the elders, the old people, they see who's going to be a healer, who's going to be a Marakame.
Y cuando saben quién va a ser Marakame, los empiezan a entrenar desde niños para que adultos aproximadamente de 50 años para arriba pueden empezar a curar a la gente, algunos más jóvenes, algunos más viejos.
When they are children, they start being trained, and later in life, once they're about 50 years old or older, some a little bit younger, some a little bit older, they can at that point start healing people.
Los Marakames en su comunidad son la autoridad. La gente los busca cuando su familia se empieza a enfermar, los niños se enferman, la mujer, el hombre, van directamente con los Marakames y los Marakames con sus herramientas, sus plumas, con su rezo, limpia a la persona y a través del sueño los empieza a ayudar diciéndoles qué tienen que hacer para sanarse, o con las puras plumas los limpian y los curan.
The Marakames are authorities in their communities, and people search them when they have health problem, like some children, men, women are getting sick, they look for them, and then the Marakame with their tools, their feathers, they clean them up, and through their dreams, they can tell the person what they need to do, or just with the feathers they can heal them.
Son los doctores y los sabios de esa comunidad, los consejeros.
They're like the wise people and the doctors and the counselors of their communities.
Ellos usan la medicina del peyote para curar a su gente, para rezar por su gente.
They use the medicine of the peyote to heal their people and advise them.
En México están distribuidos mayormente en 3 estados: Jalisco, Durango y Nayarit.
In Mexico, they are distributed mostly in 3 states: Jalisco, Durango, and Nayarit.
También en Zacatecas se están distribuyendo por ahí.
And also in Zacatecas, they're also on that area.
Donde ellos van ellos le dicen que van de cacería cuando van por la medicina del peyote, es en otro estado que está en San Luis Potosí, que queda lejos de esos estados.
When they go to collect the medicine of the peyote in San Luis Potosí, that's a different state, and it's really far away from where they're at.
Antiguamente los ancianos iban caminando, tardaban un mes para ir por la medicina y un mes para regresar.
In the old days, the people would like walk there. They would take about a month walking there and then a month to get back.
Ahora con la modernidad usan automóviles para poder ir y entonces rentan autobuses y van y hacen ofrendas en diferentes puntos y lugares sagrados para pedir permiso para ir por la medicina, igual de la misma manera regresan.
So nowadays they use automobiles and they rent buses. They go to give offerings in different ceremonial sites to ask permission to gather that medicine, and then they return the same way.
Cuando ellos van dejando ofrenda en diferentes puntos sagrados, rezan por toda la humanidad, no nada más por ellos ni por su cultura. Rezan porque haya agua limpia para toda la humanidad, porque los animales estén bien, porque los niños se encuentren bien, los niños de todo el mundo, porque las personas sean mejor personas, porque cuidemos la madre tierra.
When they are giving offerings in these sacred places, they are praying for all of humanity, not just for themselves. They're praying for that we may have clean water, that the animals can be healthy, that all the children in the world can be healthy, and that we can be good people and take good care of Mother Earth.
Es una cultura importante, no nada más para México, sino para todo el mundo. Ayuda a sostener la vida en esta tierra.
It's a very important culture, not just for Mexico, but all of humanity, because their ceremonies help sustain life on this earth.
Para ellos, el lugar de Wirikuta es el lugar sagrado donde van a cortar la medicina.
For them, the sacred place called Wirikuta is the sacred place where they go gather their medicine.
Y ellos dicen que si Wirikuta se acaba, es matar a la tierra, se acabaría el mundo también.
They say that if Wirikuta dies, then the whole earth will die.
Hace unos años hubo un problema muy grande con minerías canadienses.
A few years ago, there was a very serious problem with Canadian mining corporations.
Se estaban metiendo ese territorio de Wirikuta a querer sacar oro y diferentes minerales, sin importarles que era un lugar sagrado, y querían arrasar con ese lugar, con todo el lugar.
A few years ago, there's a big problem with Canadian mining corporations going into Wirikuta, and they were trying to extract gold and other metals without any regard for the fact that it's a sacred place, and they just wanted to dig the whole ground up.
Hubo un movimiento muy grande de todas las comunidades wixáricas, se unieron en asamblea para parar eso, y varias gente mestiza también organizaron varias organizaciones y se pudo hacer una marcha muy grande a la Ciudad de México para hablar con el presidente.
There was a big gathering, and all the Wixarika communities got together, and then also some mixed blood, non-indigenous groups got together, and they all can organize a big march towards the capital of Mexico City to have a talk with the president about Wirikuta restoration.
Y cambió de gobierno el país de México, entró un nuevo gobierno y el presidente escuchó y pararon esas minerías por el momento.
And the government in Mexico changed, and the new president that came in, he actually listened, and for now those mining corporations have been stopped.
Entonces ellos siguen rezando para que el gobierno los siga apoyando y detengan ese proyecto minero.
So they keep praying that the government continues to support them and they can permanently stop that mining project.
Gracias que ahorita está parado.
Fortunately, right now that's stopped.
Hay otro problema también ahí que están haciendo granjas avícolas y granjas grandes donde siembran jitomate.
There's other problems there where they're making big farms of birds, chickens, I guess, and there's also big farms with they're planting tomatoes there in Wirikuta.
Entonces, para que crezca el tomate, para que estén bien los animales, avientan bombas especiales para que no llegue la lluvia. Entonces están cambiando el ecosistema de ahí, está afectando pues a todos los animales, a la misma planta del peyote.
So these farms, in order for the animals to be okay and the tomato to grow, they're throwing bombs to the sky to keep it from raining, and that's affecting all of the environment there, the animals who live there, and also the plant of the peyote.
Entonces, gracias a diferentes autoridades de las comunidades están organizando para también detener eso.
And so the different authorities of different communities are organizing to also try to stop those weather modification activities in farming.
Ahorita tuvimos la oportunidad, gracias aquí a la universidad que nos invitó, gracias a Martín que ayudó a organizar esta conferencia.
We had the opportunity, thank you to the university that invited us and to Martin that helped out organize this conference.
Lo que venimos a compartir aquí es un intercambio cultural. También tuvimos varias invitaciones de compañeros nativos de aquí, de estos lugares y gente que nos ha conocido. Esta es la quinta vez que he venido a Marakame, es la cuarta vez que venimos aquí a compartir un poquito de su cultura de ellos y también aprender de la cultura de los nativos de aquí.
What we come here to do is a cultural exchange, and we also receive invitations from the First Nations groups here of this land, and we come, this is the 5th time that the Marakame comes here, and my 4th time accompanying him, and we come here to share and also to learn from the indigenous groups here and other people.
Y rápidamente les voy a contar un poquito sobre ellos, allá en su comunidad, lo que se dedican es a la siembra del maíz. El maíz también es muy importante en su comunidad. Y en donde mismo siembran maíz, siembran calabaza, frijol, chile, y ese es su sostén económico de ellos.
I want to share how the way of life, the main sustenance comes from planting corn in their communities, and with the corn they also plant beans and pumpkins or different squashes, and that's essentially their sustenance, economic sustenance.
Pero la manera que les ayuda más en sostenerse económicamente es con el arte que ellos van haciendo, que hacen en todo su arte plasman su cosmovisión.
But also the way that it supports their communities economically is through the art that they make, and the art is where they put all of their cosmovision into the art designs that they use.
Es la manera como donde pueden recibir más economía por parte de su artesanía.
That's the way that they can actually, improve their economy the most through their art.
Muchas gracias y le voy a pasar la palabra al Rapa, que les quería comentar algo así para empezar.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to pass the word back to Rapa, who wants to say something to finish up.
Ya por último, y que es lo más importante para nosotros, les quería dejar el último, que es la danza del peyote, la peregrinación, alrededor de 14.
Lastly, I want to share with you the most important thing for us, which is the dance of the peyote, the peregrination to Real de 14.
Nosotros vamos al Real de 14, a veces cada año, a veces pasa como 2 años, 3 años. Normalmente, como aquí decía Chris, anteriormente, hace como no sé cuántos años, yo todavía no me acuerdo, yo no llegaba a la tierra. Le tocó a mi abuelo caminar así hasta el día de 14. Un mes caminaba y de regreso otro mes, 2 meses.
Like Chris was saying, before my time, before I came to this earth, but it was my grandfather, he had to walk to Real de 14 for a month to get there and then for a month to get back.
Entonces ahorita a mí me tocó cuando tenía 12 años, me invitó mi abuelo y en ese entonces yo voy para allá, ya llevo 5 años que voy.
When I was 12 years old, my grandfather invited me to go there on the pilgrimage, and now I've been there 5 years.
Nosotros nos preparamos desde allá en la comunidad para salir. Ahorita, pues como decían, nos vamos en el carro y ahí en como nuestro municipio nos apoya con un camión y ya de ahí pues nos vamos.
We, as I was saying, now we go by car, so we prepare ourselves in our community, and our municipality supports us by allowing us to use a truck, and from there we all go.
Entonces nosotros nos preparamos, siempre ayunamos, no comemos que es la sal, vamos sin sal, así sin comer tortillas que son de maíz, y luego sin bañarse. Duramos menos como una semana, ida y vuelta.
To prepare ourselves, we also fast. We don't eat salt, we don't eat tortillas made of corn, we don't bath ourselves. It takes for about a week of preparation.
Pero ahí cuando vamos, pues sí, para acabar la danza del peyote y la peregrinación, duramos como un mes haciendo la fiesta, dejando ofrendas, rezando como para que llegue el agua ahí a todas las comunidades, a todos los países. Y hay allá como 5 lugares sagrados que vamos para allá. Entonces en cada lugar sagrado nosotros paramos y rezamos en la noche y al día siguiente nos vamos.
So the whole pilgrimage tour takes us for about a month nowadays, and as I was saying, in those 5 ceremonial places we stop and we spend the night there praying for that there be abundant water for all the communities and all the countries, and then the next morning we get going.
Y entonces nosotros hacemos todo eso para el bien de la comunidad, el bien de toda la tierra, de nuestra madre tierra. para que pues haya paz, no haya enfermedades.
We do that for all the benefit of all the communities and for all the planet, and that there is peace and there's no sickness in our Mother Earth.
Y ya para el último, nosotros trabajamos como allá en la sierra, no hay trabajo, nosotros siempre, algunos, no todos, trabajamos en nuestra artesanía, que es hacemos pulseras, collares.
Because it's hard to find jobs, wage-paying jobs in the mountains where we live. A lot of us work in the art by making beadwork.
Entonces nosotros pues venimos a vender aquí en Guadalajara, en todo México, donde nos inviten. Entonces con eso pues nosotros nos apoyamos.
And then we go to Guadalajara or we come here, wherever we may go, we sell that, and with that we support our expenses.
Y en esa toda artesanía tiene cada figura tiene su significado. Ahí plasmamos como el venado, el peyote, el águila, todos los animales, plantas que son sagrados para nosotros.
In our art, each one of those figures, it has a meaning, and that's where we put the deer, the peyote, the eagle, and all of the things that are sacred to us.
Entonces, si ahorita pues traemos unas cosas que lo hicieron toda nuestra familia, mi esposa, mis hermanos, mis hermanas, mi mamá, y nosotros somos 4 de la familia, y somos 2 hombres, 2 mujeres.
So now we have some art that is being made by my family, by my brothers and my sisters and my mom. There's 4 of us in our family, 2 men and 2 women, and Maria is all we have.
Entonces ahorita traemos, si alguien quiere cooperar, pues ahí traemos nuestra artesanía, para que pasen a verlos, y si gustan pues comprar algo.
So if anyone would like to support us, there's our art is over there in those tables, and you can check it out, and if you want to buy it, you can buy it.
Y pues, por último, pues agradecerle aquí a Martín y aquí también a la universidad que nos invitó, que pues pagó el viaje, ¿no? Y pues la verdad estamos muy agradecidos. A mí esta es mi primera vez que vengo, la verdad está muy bonito, pero mucho frío. La verdad, muchas gracias por venir, gracias por escuchar la costumbre de nosotros, de los Wixarikas.
He's saying that he's thankful to the university and to me for inviting them and supporting them with their travel expenses, and that it's his first time here, and that it's kind of nice here, he likes it, but it's a little cold.
Les agradezco a cada uno de ustedes, igual que a los maestros, los profes, y pues, pan para Dios, gracias.
Okay, so he's saying thank you to each and every one of you, and Pamparius means thank you in his language. So, yeah, I think we'll open now if anybody has any questions. Ramiro wants to do something in this language.
Kamu ya tengo rata harto area kwa periatan utatan iguatan tahu tahu itu tuli kero mereka memang anak para memang boleh boleh
Pamparius. Okay. Question?
How can we help them from Canada? How can we help them? And which Canadian mining company are they referring to?
Bueno, yo ella de verdad, igual hicieron compañías que estaban somos They don't know the answer to what you're saying, but what Chris is saying is maybe by just informing yourself better of what's going on and who you vote for and which projects you support, that kind of thing. If there's any organizations or political activities that are doing any marches or any political action against this type of mining projects, to support those, that kind of thing that they don't really know.
Doesn't seem like they're very organized.
Part of the reason is probably because most people don't really know a lot about that going on. In Mexico, this was a big deal, and there was a big organization with artists, with famous people, all the Wixarika communities, everybody gathered around this issue. But you cannot probably know what it was about. Any other questions? Yes. Let me pass you the mic.
For those that are interested, I'd like to refer you to the Osgood School of Law, which has a series of publications about Canadian mining and the crimes against Indigenous peoples. Also, you can look up online about the murder of Indigenous activists throughout the hemisphere. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Can you say again, where do we find these resources?
The Osgood School of Law, they're online and they have many publications about gold car, original gold for sanctuary arts, unfortunately it is appeal, and many other Canadian mining companies and their activities throughout the world, and especially in the Indigenous hemisphere. You can
Say the name again, is that?
Osgood School of Law.
I think that's your university.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you can also look up the number of Indigenous activists and the allies that have been made with such interests in this hemisphere and globally, and the numbers are rising.
Thank you. So there's a lot of resources. You just gotta do your research. Any other questions? Questions? There's a shy. I know the students are shy. I know there's questions. All right. Well, there's gonna be some cookies and coffee over there. Stick around. Don't buy it if you wanna talk to them. And also, if you wanna check out the art, if you wanna support them and buy some of the art, it's over there. And if you want to get to know them better, they'll be here for a few more days, so get in touch with me, and I can, if you want to buy the art at another time or whatever, yes, just come talk to us. And, feel free to get some coffee. Thank you so much for attending and for your kind attention, and please help us. Round of applause for our Wixarika relatives here, please. Thank you. And let me say, Pamparius, muchas gracias por venir. Verdaderamente para nosotros es un honor que hayan estado acá y compartir su cultura. Y muchas gracias.